In 1927, Frank Quinn from Grea, Drumlish in County Longford, went into a New York sound studio and recorded for Columbia Records Goodbye Mike, Goodbye Pat, a song that was destined to enter the hallowed halls of Irish balladry. The Quinn family left Ireland for New York in 1903, when Frank was aged 10. While in the Big Apple, the family members immersed themselves in the Irish cultural life of the city. And in the process, young Frank developed his natural talents for singing, playing the accordion, fiddle, and the clarinet. Like many another Irish immigrant son, the Longford man found a job with the traffic branch of the New York Police Department. And when not directing rush hour traffic on Fifth Avenue, patrolman Frank Quinn was often seen at civic functions, playing clarinet with the NYPD band. Frank would often entertain the Longford Club at the Riverside Hall, the Glenmaddy Social Association at the Imperial Museum, or the Sligo Men's Association at Curry's Democratic Club on West 37th Street. His vast repertoire included recitations such as Kelly's Dream, accordion tunes such as McKean's Reel or the Balnamuck Jig, or comic songs ranging from The Birth of St. Patrick to 12 Stone 2, the latter being about a man who's having second thoughts about getting married.
Oh, goodbye, Mike, goodbye, Pat, goodbye, Kate and Mary.
It wasn't until the mid-1920s that Frank Quinn introduced audiences to Goodbye Mike, Goodbye Pat. The words of this song, 3 verses and a chorus, were published in 1886 in Volume 9 of Wayman's collection of 106 songs, a booklet issued by Henry J. Wayman, a music publisher based in New York. Fortunately, Wayman had the foresight to attach the following piece of information to the song. Copyright 1883 by P. Feeney. Though we can only speculate as to the real identity of the writer, he may have been Patrick Feeney, who adopted the stage name James Richmond Glenroy. Feeney was one of many stage Irish performers who tread the boards of the stages in the Bowery district of New York. According to the Variety magazine, Feeney, who was born in Ireland, was known for his comical lyrics and recitations. He was also known as the man with the green gloves. Goodbye Mike, Goodbye Pat spoke of emigration, rarely a cause for celebration, but the lyrics were far from being nostalgic or maudlin, common sentiments in such songs. Rather, the rollicking verses and spirited melody served as an antidote to soppiness, a sort of vaccine against mushiness. And it's perhaps unfortunate that those who would readily brand the song as stage Irish would have little problem in describing I'll Take You Home Kathleen as a classic.
My trunk went down below in the great ship then O'Leary.
It's easy to see why Feeney's song appealed to Patrolman Quinn's impish side. It was a perfectly crafted parody. Before recording it for Columbia, Quinn tweaked a few of the words, and for reasons best known to himself, he omitted the third and last lines of the 4-line chorus, placing them instead at the end of the song. So there's the steamer blazing up, I can no longer stay, for I'm bound for New York City, boys, 3,000 miles away. We can only guess what people thought when they heard the recording for the first time in 1927. Quinn playing a slightly out-of-tune fiddle after each verse, yo-hoing in between lines and pretending to cry his way through the last 2 choruses. Columbia had taken a gamble, but it certainly paid off. The song was a hit. A short time later, it was re-released by Regal. The printed matter on the label reminding the more sedate lovers of music that it featured novelty accompaniment. Larry Griffin, sometimes lead vocalist with the New York-based outfit Dan Sullivan's Shamrock Band, fully understood what Feeney had written and what Quinn had delivered. Griffin got the joke.
The ship will sail in half an hour when across the broad Atlantic. My friends are standing on the pier with grief and sorrow frantic. My trunks are stored way down below in the good ship Dan O'Leary. The anchors weighed and the gang...
In 1930, using the title I'm Leaving Tipperary, Griffin and band recorded the song for Columbia, but this time Griffin included the full 4-line chorus and hooked a roguish ha 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 to the end of each refrain. I'm Leaving Tipperary was re-released in 1934 by His Master's Voice. As the song became popular throughout the world, people started to examine the lyrics in more detail, asking questions such as, was Dan O'Leary an actual ship? Or what or where is Castle Gardens? As to the former question, the jury is out. But perhaps it was a tongue-in-cheek salute to Dan O'Leary, a long-distance walker from Cork who settled in America at the age of 19. Dan O'Leary died in Los Angeles in 1933 at the age of 92. As for Castle Gardens, from 1850 until 1890, it was the location of the Emigration Centre in New York, so it would have been the first glimpse of America for many Irish immigrants. Didannon's 1981 album, Star Spangled Molly, featured a rousing rendition of I'm Leaving Tipperary, no doubt influenced by the version recorded by Larry Griffin. So known as Goodbye Mike, Goodbye Pat, I'm Leaving Tipperary, and Goodbye Mick, Goodbye Pat. Such is the story behind the song. The ship will sail in half an hour across the broad Atlantic. My friends were standing on the pier with grief and sorrow frantic. My trunks were stowed down below in the great ship Dan O'Leary. The anchors weighed and the gangways up, I'm leaving Tipperary. So goodbye Mick, goodbye Pat, goodbye Kate and Mary. For the anchors weighed and the gangways up, I'm leaving Tipperary. Ah, there's a steamer blazing up, I can no longer stay. For I'm bound for New York City, boys, 3,000 miles away. Ha ha ha. My portmanteau I have got packed with potatoes, greens and bacon. And if you don't think I look after that, in truth you are mistaken. And sure, if the ship should pitch and toss for half a dozen farthings, I'll take my trunk upon my back and I'll walk to the Castle Gardens. So it's goodbye Mick, goodbye Pat, goodbye Kate and Mary. For the anchors weighed and the gangways up, I'm leaving Tipperary. There's a steamer blazing up, I can no longer stay. For I'm bound for New York City, boys, 3,000 miles away. Ha ha ha. I give my respects to Mr. Mack and likewise Mrs. Hagan, and tell her to the christening I'll come back when she marries Patsy Fagan. I'm deep in love with Molly Burke as a jackass is in Clover, and when I'm settled, if she'll come, I pay her passage over. So it's goodbye Mick, goodbye Pat, goodbye Kate and Mary. For the anchors weighed and the gangways up, I'm leaving Tipperary. Ah, there's a steamer blazing up, I can no longer stay. For I'm bound for New York City, boys, 3,000 miles away. Yes, I'm bound for New York City.